Good evening, interwebs. It's psychic medium and author Josh Simons coming to you with the Tarot Snapshot. This is a 3-card reading that I try to keep under 10 minutes long, so it is a longer than normal reading for me. I try to do this every week or so. I am due for one, and I'm feeling especially called to bring this to folks because I'm not sure if you're looking around. I'm not sure if you're paying attention, but things are weird. Things are strange. We're at a place in America that I'm not sure we've ever been. A friend of mine was just telling me about what's going on in Boston, and that's some insanity. Hoping that no lives are lost. And I'm just talking about ICE coming into Boston. The mayor saying they're not letting them in, and the border czar threatening to bring hell. May we never see American troops fire on American citizens. May we never see that. So that's my intention. There is a lot of bizarre stuff happening in the world, and I think that it's important that we have this reminder that we find our center, and just like that very famous sign says, keep calm and carry on. Remember, you can't control what happens to you. You can only control how you react to it. We do have a choice whether we respond or react to the things that happen to us. And I think that it's vital those people that are in a heightened state of stress or anxiety know how to best respond versus react. So in the interest of bringing peace, I'm going to shuffle 3 times to bring us 3 cards about where we're at collectively, what vexes and perplexes, what heals and reveals. You might see that I'm surrounded by roses, that I'm tattooed with roses, and that represents to me what I call goddess energy, mother goddess energy, which from my experience is a real thing. But let's just think about it as a divine love. I'm using this deck right here that I associate with that energy. It was very much called to bring that. So I think that we're all in need of some mothering. I think that would be healthy mothering, loving mothering. So let's cut this deck and see what card represents us right now. The card that represents all of us in this moment, Judgment. Okay. So Judgment is interesting. This is a resurrection. This is definitely a change. This is built off of the Catholic myth of Judgment Day, where bodies are in the ground and then Judgment Day happens and they rise up to heaven, all of that stuff. There's not really a sense of judgment that comes along with this card, but I consider this a card as resurrection of the soul. This is a card of transformation. We are in a time of transformation, if nothing else. I think that we have to remember that. My 2nd grade teacher would tell me that change always brings opportunity. There's an opportunity with what we're going through to become a better version of the United States. And that's true of any change, whether you're in China or Russia or Ukraine or anywhere. Hopefully we can make a better version of life out of the tumultuous change that we're in. But the other message I just got right now is perhaps we are being judged. Judged for our behaviors, judged for our hatred, judged for our lack of compassion for our fellow human. We are certainly in a sense of judgment. We are certainly in a sense of things happening that are the result of, this is like cause and effect. There are consequences for our actions. We're all participating in America. If you're politically minded, like we're in a place of judgment right now, I think. And I don't want to talk about apocalyptic stuff because that's not useful. But the apocalypse isn't like a bang, it's a whimper, and there's definitely a change that comes along with it. So I think we're all in for some change for sure. What vexes and perplexes us though? The 3 of Pentacles. Very hard for us to come together and create something better. I associate this card with building for the future with the wisdom of the past. And this would make sense because this is the card that vexes and perplexes us. Right now, we see neighbor versus neighbor. That could get worse before it gets better. How often have we seen, Irish Catholic versus Protestant, or Muslim versus Jew, or black versus white? How many times do we have to go through neighbor versus neighbor, man against man, brother against brother, before we learn? I can absolutely see how this would vex and perplex us. Building for the future with the wisdom of the past. I mean, one of the things that really hurts my heart is people's inability to see when they're being manipulated by propaganda. Propaganda is all around us in the form of advertising, in the form of media, social media. I struggle because I see so many people around me being led by their nose based on what they've been spoon-fed, not questioning it, not double checking their facts. Really, really in a place of just like zombies. And I'm not speaking to one side or the other. There's a lot of zombies around us who are being led by the nose through fear and manipulation. I personally hate the idea of that because I know what stress can do to the body, and I am so worried about people who don't know how to mitigate their stress, the signals they're sending to their bodies, and the illnesses that they could potentially be creating. The card that heals and reveals. Let's look at what heals and reveals. The Star. Hope. Healing. Now, in tarot, you might not be familiar with this, but there are the major arcana cards. Card 16 is the Tower, which is destruction of that which should not have been built in the first place. After the Tower comes the Star. The Star is healing. The Star is hope. There's a saying in tarot, you got to go through the Tower to get through the Star. We have to remember that better days are coming. So let's talk about the consumption of hatred, how hate will consume. There's a very much one side of a political scenario here that is consumed with hatred. There are racists and homophobes and transphobes and bigots on one side of this political spectrum that we're in the United States versus the other. Let's do a thought exercise, though. Let's say that that side that is full of hatred consumes everything that which it hates. Right now, I'm staring at the fact that my federally recognized marriage to my husband might be dissolved based on this administration. That's going to limit the states I can travel in this country. That's huge. So let's say that one side consumes all the bad guys. They get rid of them all, they kill them all, what have you. Horrible, horrible thing to ponder. But if that happens, it's only a matter of time before that side that needed a bad guy to prop up their mission starts to consume themselves. Before it splits, it fractures. Hate is a cancer. Cancer will consume itself. The only thing that is sustainable is love. We are seeing that right now. If you're frightened about what's going on, understand that hate will always consume itself. It might consume a whole lot before it gets to itself, but it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Use that as a reminder, but always have hope for a better future. I am meeting people on the regular that have voted for Donald Trump and the Republican administration, and they are regretting their actions. Locally, we're having Head Starts wonder if they're going to be able to pay their leases. We're seeing cuts to things that really aren't wasteful, that are necessary in this country. It doesn't take a lot to see that the Republican administration is proposing trillions of dollars of tax cuts for billionaires while cutting Medicaid and programs for the needy. If you have a problem with that, you can go substantiate that and do your own research, because that's what's going on. I am a proud Vermonter, and I call into question the other side of the political aisle. But I've never seen Head Starts wondering if they're going to be able to pay their lease. I will be very frank with you in what I have experienced in terms of spirit. I'm very connected to spirit, and it perplexes me that they're at peace. A reminder that I get from my spiritual connection not to worry, not to stress. Not to worry, not to stress. Maybe they've been through it before. Maybe something better is coming from this. But I lean into that connection, and I remember that there is always hope and healing. There's always hope and healing. There's always a better day. Remember, sometimes things need to break down before things get better. Think of the tower. Think of the star. We're going through some tumultuous time period right now. So remember, there's always a sunrise. Don't want to leave that with you as too hokey, but you have to be a glass half full kind of person in times like this. All my love to you. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental and emotional health. Take care of your body. Keep calm and carry on.